Alright guys, we are back with Harlan. Harlan, Harlan. There's no M. So he isn't a Harlem Globetrotter, even though that's stuck in my head. Like it's close enough to like I won't care and I will make that joke endlessly and to like the annoyance of my own audience. Harlan is back here. This is actually a recent video, so I'm gonna do like a mishmash. If I do keep up with this dude, it'll be probably a mishmash of old stuff, new stuff, old stuff, new stuff. Yeah, he hasn't uploaded in a few days, so it's too hot to vlog. It's all right, so it's way too hot in this car. He is roasting. He's roast twink at the moment, so you can see he's got a bit of color there. So it's going to be really hot where he is. Still haven't worked out where he is. All right, so too hot to vlog, losing social skills. That's not good. So I've said in the last video, I think he's like a really not antisocial. I think he's just asocial, where he's just not wanting to be around people as much as he can. He's not really talking to anyone anymore. He's existing in his own world. He's existing in his head. And when he goes to talk to people, it's like, how do I actually greet people these days, or how do I interact with normies, bots? Will refuse therapy until housed. This is a weird condition to put on this. So without housing, you can't do therapy. Without this, you can't do that. Will refuse therapy until housed. Are you in a better frame of mind to receive therapy if you are in a relatively stable situation like a housing scenario where you have everything you need, and then you would be ready to like accept that sort of help. Whereas if you're in a car and you're bottled up, you're hot as fuck, roasting alive, and then you go in for like some therapy situation in the afternoon, you might just like completely lose your mind and lash out in a weird way that wouldn't necessarily be. Anyway, all right, Harlan, take it away.
Yo, and welcome back to the Ice Booge Daily channel. This will be a 20-minute vlog. It'll probably be broken into pieces because it's so hot. The equipment is just like, it shuts off when it gets hot, and then I have to wait a few minutes for it to turn back on. The alternative is to run the car the whole time or to stop and start the car. And
Oh, well, yeah, this is very much like Paul's problems. He was constantly having this camcorder overheat on him and shut down, and it would not come back on. What is going on? All right, so I only really ever saw him from the front before in the previous video. This is some like, has he kind of like gelled or sprayed this hair into like position, or is that a fringe? All right.
I feel like running the car, I hate when people run the car.
Okay, it's a bit of a style. He's got it kind of shaved on the sides. He's got like a bit of like a longer lock of hair on his like fringes and his backs, but he's kind of got it shaved or buzzed down a little bit. It's regrown, but yeah, that's an odd way to wear your hair, but maybe it works.
Around me, I hate running the car, right? So nobody around me knows what's going on. They don't know that I'm vlogging or whatever. They do, they're like, do it somewhere else, you dirty bum. You lower tier bum than us.
You lower tier bum than us. Okay, all right. Yeah, there's like a hierarchy of homeless. Now, from a previous video, I felt like he felt that he was an inadequate bum. He didn't measure up to the bar in terms of bumliness. So I guess king bums are like Boxcar Willie with the one tooth and the whistle in his voice. And then you've just got like a mid tier, and then you've got like a Harlan tier, whereas he's just a normie in a car. He's just a guy in a car that just like does not represent what a stereotypical homeless person should be, I guess. And he's getting worked up over it, which is weird. It's a weird thing.
I'll just do it. So I checked the oil and it was like into the danger zone. So I had to get some more oil and top it off. So talking about this costs money, right?
I think they call it like, what is that term people use where you can never be the thing that's described. I think it's no true Scotsman.
I may be a homeless guy with a laptop, but what, I have infinite time and infinite money to do this? That's how many donations I've gotten lately, $0. Okay, so stop doing this, fine. Everyone finds new channels to watch. But the problem is I'm not doing this for money, I'm doing this for history, basically. Because how many homeless people have been this put together and equipped, right? You think people would be like tipping me like, hey man, nice job, you really shouldn't be homeless. No, they're just munching popcorn, waiting for stuff to die, waiting for me to die, waiting for stuff to go wrong. A couple of you have helped me out, thanks so much.
Oh, what? Okay, so I'm beginning to think this guy has been watching Paul, waiting to die, waiting to die. That's a real Paul thing. Like, I'm not going to say that's like exclusively Paul's like bit, but it's so weird. I don't know, like how many people say does it if you start saying it a lot and constantly, I'm thinking this is like he's been watching the homeless consultant, he's been watching the homeless American Holocaust. He's a Paul B head. I'm gonna maybe softly say that because it could just be a coincidence.
But this is definitely not a profitable endeavor. If you think I'm on here, not working my $200,000 10 years ago salary job so that I can actually come on here and scam y'all, try to trick you and make you think I'm homeless so you give me a few dollars here and there. Good Lord, you're so...
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing. I think I'm with Harlan there. Unless you could really parlay what he's doing into a real money spinner. So if he gets really popular, he gets a lot of donations. It could be somewhat profitable, but from what he just said, he might have had a software engineering job that paid much better, and then he's come out here because he can beg donos better. You can get more money begging donos. No, it doesn't seem right.
Oh, basic, if that's the case. I don't know why so many people are watching this channel. Because, like, literally, that I'm, like, coiling about, running around like a cockroach.
I think he's like 800, 900 subs.
For 6 years and sleeping outside. You're getting entertainment value from this, coming back.
Yeah, after 6 years, I don't know if that's really a lot of people. I'm on like 220. I only had this channel really running for the last 4 months. It's slow growth, but it's like I would say I have a completely like almost my audience is very small, very small.
And you're not giving me anything. Like, okay, that's allowed.
Yeah, okay. Don't do it. Don't say it. Don't do that thing where you start berating them. The way you just said it, it was very dismissive and sort of like with a bit of anger there. So I'm thinking we're allowed to do it, but also we're not. What is it, Harlan?
And maybe that's how the Starbucks people feel about me. Except, wait, I tip $1 per item too. So it's like, I go there, I always buy something, 1 to 3 things, and I tip $1 to $3. So like,
why bother tipping then? Like, if they're giving you the evil eye every time you come in and thinking you're the bum that sits in the toilet for like 30 minutes and they're really getting annoyed with you, why tip them? Like, openly be, well, I don't know if you want to be antagonistic towards your barista. They might, I don't know, pump an extra amount of not vanilla and not like, I don't know, caramel essence or something. They might pump some saliva into it.
Starbucks shouldn't be feeling like that about me. They're taking me for granted. So I've got 3 vlogs that I haven't been able to upload for various reasons, basically because they require editing, or I took them on the phone, which is like huge files, and I have not had the space with the files to upload them yet. So
oh yeah, that's what I was thinking before. He's like, he maybe does these 20-minute ones because anything bigger would like just run the card out or something.
Oh. One, I just don't want to show where I am too much, so I've got to like edit out a bunch of the video that just shows where I am.
Smart. I congratulate you for that, because Paul B was just very easy to locate.
Keep it straight through, but if it gets too identifiable, fade it out in some pictures or something, keep the voice going. Second one, I thought I'd just stick...
Yeah, angle it up. Yeah, I can see stuff out there, but like angle it down a bit, and you've got the glare. No one can see that. People can see that, but yeah.
Stitch clips of audio and video together, but the microphone was not plugged properly into the iPhone, so those all got video clips with no audio, except for the last one. And then there's one...
Yeah, it was like jumping through some videos of his just to get a feel for him, and there's like a whole bunch where you cannot... The audio... I thought my audio was poor. His audio gets really bad because he's got this very simple setup.
Continuous piece of audio on there that's like 20 some minutes long, and the total of those clips is like 18. So I did a bunch of work to figure out like how to get sync it up, and it's almost done, but it's like I've got to just do the fine combing, and that's going to be like scrubbing through the video, finding the, the right points.
Yeah, I hate when the audio, like Paul B's videos used to, the audio used to desync a lot when I was doing editing, and I was like, why? So I had to go through a lot of those videos and just sync all this audio between editing, and yeah, it was a nuisance.
Several, 5-6 times, so it's not going to take too long. But let me just show you what I did. I'll just show you a screenshot.
What is going on here? He is jumping around weirdly.
Finding Getz, sync it up, and it's almost done, but it's like I've got to just do the fine combing, and that's going to be like scrubbing through the video, finding the, the right points, several, 5-6 times, so it's not going to take too long. But let me just show you what I did.
All right, so I'm assuming his camera or whatever his setup is overheating and it's skipping frames. So this is not my PC.
I'll show you a screenshot.
It's like I have a million things open and sometimes it does lag. Oh Lord. Oh, okay, he's got a lot of
So I basically just had these clips, changed the duration into seconds, its creation time on the day, into minutes. No, that's seconds, that's minutes. And then basically I ended up with an FFmpeg command to extract that into an audio clip.
All right, moving on from this. All right, when does he get past this? Yeah, okay.
3 are just chilling until I can get the two done and I can upload the third. And yeah, hopefully this one doesn't refer to today's video and that stuff too much, but that's going to be an ordeal doing 3 videos at once, or like an extra video per day where I just watch it and write the description and whatnot, and I still vlog another video. So this is like a...
That seems like a bloody chore. And you're not making any money out of it. It's not profitable. Yeah.
an extent of the capability.
You got to just do it for the passion, dude.
Of vlogging, and like a big pitfall is if you miss an episode and there's continuity between the episodes, then you might have problems.
Yeah, that's like a real sort of spectrum disorder there. Like you can't let it be. It has to be, the continuity has to be perfect. There can't be any like lapse in, well, I went from one day to like 4 days later between uploads and now it looks kind of weird in terms of like daily vlogs. Yeah.
And I'm sure that probably got really loud because I spoke so close to the mic. Right, so...
No, you're good.
God. I don't know.
All right, so maybe the hair is a bit greasy. That's why it's like that. So it's maybe he hasn't put spray in it or he hasn't put product. It's just like naturally unwashed and getting kind of greasy where it's like just holding in place.
Oh, I really want to stop going to Starbucks, you guys. Like, I really don't like the vibe of going in there. I quit going to one Starbucks because of the exact same...
Yeah, shop at a... What is going on with his head? All right, I would assume this is a perspective issue. So the camera's just on a weird angle where I said this in the last video and I'm going to keep saying it until I figure it out. I'm going to have to scrub through some old videos just to see him outside this car and maybe standing, because this head is huge. The frame is small, but the head is huge. It's like he's applied a app filter or some sort of weird thing where it makes your head a little bit bigger. You remember in like, was that game GoldenEye 007 64? You can get like the cheat code to get the head a little bit bigger, like a bobblehead effect. Yeah, that's what I'm getting out of it. And every time I look at it, especially now, it's just like, whoa, dude, what's going on?
Same thing that's now happening at this Starbucks, which is I go in there, there's a bunch of people standing around and they all like stare at me and nobody says, hey, welcome in or anything like that. It's literally, I come in, they won't say anything to me. I order my drink, I'll be the one who says thank you.
All right, so he's tilting his head a little forward and every time he does it, it creates that effect. So whatever this camera is maybe, yeah, creating that fishbowl effect.
They won't say thank you, have a good day. I'll say have a good day. They won't say you too. People leave, they're like, have a good one. They come back like, hey, welcome back. None of that for me. Whenever I go through the door, nothing is said. Whenever I order something, nothing.
That's the kind of cool thing about living in Australia. It's like no one really gives a fuck about that kind of crap. In America, I guess customer service is on a near like psychotic degree where people are like grinning through their teeth and there's just like probably pure contempt and hatred behind that grin. But because the type of extroverted nature of American people, especially in the food industry, is just, you must be happy. You've got to be happy. You've got to put on the greatest, biggest smile, but you're completely dead inside.
Man, I wish I could get those videos up. It's so, like, let's see.
And I guess if they start to lose that kind of vigor with him, that fake niceness that Paul B would lose his shit over. He hated the fake niceness of the Minnesota. Yeah, so when these people aren't as smiling, as big and loud and bright towards him and all aren't greeting him as they probably greet others, this is getting in his head as, oh, this is an attack. This is against me. Like, they hate me. They don't want me around, which I don't know. May or may not be true.
See how long this computer goes before it shuts down. Like, you know, however uncomfortable, whatever I feel, the electronics literally just can't work. And
okay, so this is just something I don't know about, and I guess it shows that I'm obviously living in a luxurious lifestyle where I've camped. I do a lot of camping. I love camping, but I guess I've never been in a car for so long recording.
yes, this is my 4th day off work. I'm so over this. At least when I go to work, I only have to deal with this
4th day off work, man, that is a good setup.
for like a couple hours before it gets super hot. And yeah, I get off at 4, like the peak of it being super hot, but at least it's getting cooler from there on. Like, it's at its hottest, but it's at least getting cooler. I almost need to become
Do you have a job like a Paul B setup where you can loiter around your workplace and like sit in the air conditioning for a little while until it like really does start to cool off, and then you can just like slide out of there? Or is it a situation you don't want to be in that workplace any more than you have to? So as soon as like the final bell goes, you're like, bye, gone.
nocturnal and just start doing this at night, except wait, where? So I actually did find a parking spot where I can do that. Oh, cool. See all this crying for no. What's the catch? The catch is it costs about $10 round trip to get there and back because it's outside of this town. So all this time I've been complaining boo-hoo about all the crazy, you know, the stuff that's going on outside the car at night, which I won't talk about. I could have just been sleeping. No, I would have been paying $300 a month for gas to be doing that. Okay, $10 a day, multiple.
So it's away from your workplace. So it's 10 minutes there and back between your workplace and this car park. So it's costing you.
Fly it out, right? Well, you're paying $10 a day. Would this replace Starbucks? I don't think so. If it did, that would be nice. And then
it's this. What is this? I guess. Why does it need to be Starbucks? Is there anything else that you can go to that's a Starbucks like? You know, can you sit at McDonald's, Burger King? What's going on? Like that it has to be Starbucks, or is it Starbucks is the only thing that's close to you that's convenient?
it's about hour and a half of driving round trip as well. So
All right,
if
okay.
I'm not effectively using that time in Starbucks anyway, it doesn't matter that much. You know, it's mileage on the car, oil change, which, you know, it's due. I topped off the oil at least. You know, like I've been getting
Yeah, that's good to hear, because I don't think Paul B kept up with any of that stuff. I think it was all when he had the money, he had the Cougar serviced and repaired a lot. But I think with the Ford Fusion, he didn't care as much.
about 50 to 60% gas mileage because I burn so much gas just running the car idling. And I'm guessing that's why I kind of burnt some of the oil down too. It doesn't.
Yeah, so this is another trap, I guess. Is this a reality of being homeless and living in your car? I'm going to say it's probably a thing where you do need to run the car to charge and run cool air. That's, I guess, where it all comes down to, especially with Paul. He was constantly running that car, and he had like an external fan, but the fan never really worked well. It was dying all the time. It was one fan worked, he had a dual fan, and one worked and the other one didn't. So I'm guessing you've got to run the car to get the air conditioning to keep cool.
Usually do that, but I actually I don't know if I've ever had to top this car off. I've had it since it was new. So yeah, I'm just gonna run it. It's so hot when I do this, but
Oh Lord, that is the worst. But I've got a car that's actually pretty good at, like, I guess it kicks out the cool air almost immediately, or the hot air, or whatever I need. So I used to have a car. It was like an old Nissan Elantra or something like that, where it would just the air conditioning never cooled or never heated adequately. It was just like it was more or less blowing it was circulating the air like a fan, but it wouldn't. I'm guessing it had to be regassed, and I never regassed it.
we have to get me out of this.
Who? We? What do you mean, we? What do you? I thought you didn't accept help. or like you don't accept official help to whatever that means. So are you addressing me, the viewer, the subscriber, as to say I must get you out of this, I must donate to you? Is this is the vibe I'm getting?
Oh, well, you can just get a better. I have a job. I know what it takes to get a better job.
All right, so you have a job. I don't know what the job is. Someone has to tell me. Like, someone just tell me. I thought it was a barista, but he said no. He's just in Starbucks a lot.
It takes the exact same thing it takes to vlog more here. It takes space. I need space to work on things. Like, that's not Starbucks. Blaring music, you know?
No.
Like, it's like disturbing thinking about what people who watch these videos feel, and then they don't give me anything. Like,
All right, so you are a panhandler. You are like an e-beggar. Yeah, I I don't know. I don't really feel great about that because what are you really putting out into the world? It's a lot of woe is me. Um, I'm in a circumstance that I could probably solve if I humbled myself, if I allowed myself to be helped through some of these charities and churches and whatever. But I don't want to do that because it doesn't suit me. So I'm kind of stuck. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Not really, but it's a hell of your own creation. A lot like our friend Paul B. Yeah, this is where I thought he might go. He didn't really say it in the last video, but I thought, is this like a begging chooser? And yes, it is.
am I on here begging? Indirectly, because I'm too scared to beg directly?
Yes, you are. Oh my God, I love when they. Yeah, so all right. So this is when you just tell on yourself because you're saying what you feel, but also like it's in a very indirect way, as he says, where you eventually just you you understand that you're just capping. You understand that what you're saying is not all that you're saying, and you just like you immediately go, yeah, am I begging indirectly? Yeah, probably.
I mean, I think I'm being pretty above the board about, like,
And that's the thing with Paul B is that he would constantly just he would casually just remark on things he was doing wrong, and he kind of acknowledges that, hey, this is something that I should fix and I can fix, and I know it's a problem, but also I'm not going to do anything about it, sort of thing. Where it's just, oh, I got so frustrated with it. So, and this is a young man. This is a young guy. Paul is like what 56, going on 57. He's kind of like mentally lost. I don't know where this guy's at, but yeah.
if I don't get money, I'm just going to be stuck here, and I'm earning my own money as much as I can. Like, as soon as I can be applying to tech jobs, I will. But the thing with tech jobs is the reference check process is busted.
Yeah, I guess the tech sector out where he is, I'm guessing it's California. Someone signed off somewhere to say it's not. It's pretty impermeable. Like you can be upheaved. Like it's. I suppose my without saying too much is through the video game industry. Let's just say where you could be out on your ass after the next project's done. You could be looking for a new job immediately after. So it's that impermanence that's maybe where he's had a plum job, it's ended, and he hasn't been able to get that sort of lifestyle back in maybe in a way that he wants. So yeah, maybe the because the job sector is the tech sector is pretty fierce, and maybe he's just lost out on a position that may not be available for him anymore, and it's just like it's a real kick in his pants, and maybe he just can't accept it.
So there's like a 0% chance that I'll work for a good to work for company if they do, because who doesn't want a reference check on someone you're paying 10, 15, 20 grand a month? So
What's the is it you haven't been in that job? I think you mentioned that he was like a software engineer or something like that, was making on good money, but it's been a while between that job. And now they're looking at the reference saying, oof, you've worked a lot of crappy jobs since. Why is that? Is your skills, are they up to date? Are they still relevant in this field? It's changed and shifted, and you're like clearly 6 years behind. What's going on?
I mean, I can't just threaten to stop vlogging because I'm not vlogging for money. Like, I'll probably vlog however much it costs and God provides. For the righteous. Now, am I on my path? I'm so broken right now. The big thing that really is triggering me to do another video today is like, I went to the picnic spot and it's booked out for 4th of July, something. Okay, it's a holiday. I always hate holidays. Broken, right? I have nobody to celebrate with. That's why I hate the holidays.
All right, so it's a loner's life for Harlan. Everyone in his life, if we're going to go with his line, it's everyone's pushed him away. They don't want to associate with him. There's no particular fault of his own, except he's doing it tough at the moment, and they don't want to associate with a homeless guy. Okay.
This guy seemed nice and friendly enough or whatever, but like, I don't have time to just sit and have friends, and you know, so I just told him, like, I just like, what do you want? And
wait, what? This guy wants to spend a little time with you, Harlan. He wants to be friends. He wants to say, hey, let's catch up over the July 4th weekend. And you're like, what do you want? I haven't got time to be your friend, and I'm spending it all alone, and I'm lamenting that fact right now. But also, fuck off. Yeah, what?
I just like, he's like making small talk about like celebrating the 4th. I'm like, I barely know what day it is, man. Like, it's like saying something about, you know, this or that. I know, like, I remember what he said. I just don't want to repeat it. I'm like, I have no idea, man. Like, I don't really talk to anyone. I do my thing. Don't really explain myself to anybody, like, which is a half lie because I explain myself on YouTube nonstop. But at least there it's recorded. It's not like I explain myself.
Yeah, it's his therapy sessions here. So when he's out in the bot world, in the normie world, and he has to keep this all bottled in as much as he can. I don't know if he's verbose and like outlandish at work. I'm guessing not. But when he hits this car like Paul, different person. It all comes out. Like you really know who he is. But when he's in politer society, it's a zip lip, and he's just like, yep, okay, hi, how are you? Goodbye, see you later, that sort of thing.
And then they can go and lie to people about what I said, which is what always happens now. This hasn't been like this for my whole life. Like, I've been a star before, basically.
He's been a star before. All right, so the boasting. Paul boasts a lot about things that might not be real, or probably aren't real. Like I could. Maybe there's a kernel of truth, but he's maybe really putting the cotton candy on the story. Like he's really fluffing it up.
And so I know what it's like to have people treat me super well. And so now I'm getting like the exact opposite, and I can see this huge contrast as opposed to.
So I'm guessing when he was on Good Money, this is a fall from grace that's kind of like shattered his perception of reality. He doesn't know how to get back to that. Maybe that once when he was eating good, and now it's just this, he's lost in the wilderness of his life where I can't recapture that really hot moment in my life.
Nobody's ever treated me well. Being treated as poor is like all I've ever known. And so, you know, despite not reacting to things or responding to things, there's this pressure that builds up when every single day you go into Starbucks and you get the child abuse treatment of, you don't matter, minimal effort, but like then seeing everybody else matters, everybody else is so important. Oh, hey, da-da-da, how have you been? It's like, okay, maybe they've been coming in for a few years or something, like, but it's like, how did it go from, so they treated them like they treat me in the beginning, and then somehow it went from how they treat me to that? Strongly doubt it. I'm pretty certain that there's just something about me that people, I don't know. I mean, I just think when I go places a few times, I explain it on the videos. Like, I just don't want to repeat it or give details about it. And man, is it hot. It's like an open oven door right here.
Is there, I mean, are you parked in any shade? I don't think you are. Like, there's got to be somewhere that's close by, that's kind of isolated, that has a little bit of shade, maybe.
I'm not a complainer or a whiner. We sure.
Clearly not. And now he's like, as soon as I press play, he's gonna act like he's like a commenter who he doesn't allow, but it's someone replying to him saying, man, you sure do complain a lot, right?
Are complaining and whining a lot. I'm turning into a complainer and whiner.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be that way. Like, the way I responded to that guy today, my God. I'm broken. And so, well, how about you get a therapist? You know what therapists do? Cost money and time. You know what is really the solution to this besides spending more time and money talking to somebody about how I feel? Housing. Work on a team that doing a job that like challenges me and uses my skills and aptitude. Well, anyone can develop new skills and aptitude, and you just got to learn how to get along better with people, is what the therapist says. Yes, I agree with you, therapist, but you know what works? I don't see why I can't just, you know, get a lawyer. Oh, because you don't have money for a lawyer, good sir.
What do you need a lawyer now? What's going on? Why do you need a lawyer? You won't really engage with a therapist, but a lawyer. Paul wanted a lawyer badly too. Like, what is going on here?
So, as long as we all agree that injustice was done to me, and the only reason I can't fight it is because I don't have
Oh,
money.
no, don't do this to me. What is the injustice? Workplace injustice going on here, Harlan? Is it, are you just riffing on Paul's video? Are you just like wholesale stealing the bit?
Money, and the only reason I can't work in my field is because I can't fight it, and the only reason I don't have more money is because I'm not working a skilled job like one in my field. So okay, let's train me up for a new field at my, you know, age where I should be having my first grandkid. Literally, I should be having my first grandkid pretty soon here. Really. So you guys watch. I'll keep explaining. I'll keep being weird to people. I'll keep getting weirder because I'm getting used to being treated like a leper, you know, from star to leper. So you know what
All right, I do need to do a little research into why he was a star. Like, was he? I'm thinking he had a moment within his field, within his industry, where he was at the top of his game, and maybe he was very competent in the field, and for whatever reason, I'm sure either people are going to tell me or I'm going to find out on my own. It's going to be like very clear to me what was the fall of grace here.
I'll talk to a therapist when I've been housed for a year and working. I mean, even if I'm housed and working a job I don't like, I'll talk to a therapist. But I'm not talking to a therapist until I'm housed because nothing else can be normal until I'm housed. Like literally,
Yeah, I probably maybe agree with that. Where if you are in a really hot car all day and your anger is building up, the frustration is building up, your life sucks, and then you go spend like, I don't know, $150 on a like a 45-minute session with a therapist. I don't know if that's the right frame of, you won't be in the right frame of mind, especially if you're like losing money on maybe just talking to someone who's maybe, I don't know, boomed out, doesn't really have anything like helpful to say to you.
can't have relationships with anybody until I'm housed. And if I can't have relationships with anybody, that's going to be the whole theme of therapy. Oh, do this, do that. The real problem is people don't like homeless people, poor people.
So yeah, it's going to be a recurring thing. Without this, I can't do that. Without that, I can't do this. And until this is in place, it won't ever happen. And I'm not really making great inroads to do it. So this thing will never happen. I'll never have friends. I'll never have therapy. I'll never have this, that, and the other until housing, which I don't know.
People, homeless people can't have hobbies, so they're boring. We're boring. Like, I just need housing so that I can do normal stuff and relate to people normally. And then in a year, I won't need to talk to a therapist. Let's spend time and money talking to a therapist now while stuff is messed up in a way that it can't be fixed until I have money.
I'm guessing he won't like rent or do a share house situation where he has other people in the house. He needs his own personal like dwelling. He can't have other personalities around him that would clash or annoy him or irritate him. Otherwise, it just won't work. So he must have his own place. Hopefully, with no neighbors above him or beside him. It's like just it's not a apartment. It's not an apartment complex. It's got to be like a house that has a good wide berth between neighbors that hopefully don't have dogs or rowdy kids.
And talking to a therapist only prevents me from being able to make money easier. Oh, well, they convince you to check your email and then you could get hired by me. Oh, they tell you that professional responsibility is actually something that you don't need to observe because you're just a dishwasher now. And I will just refuse to speak.
All right, that is the video. A lot to digest there. So my initial feeling on Harlan is now he's maybe on a level beyond Paul, or maybe they're on even footing. I might get to the point where it's not even A, B anymore. He is his own different beast. But there is a lot of overlap that is just like, wow. Because when I was like suggested, it's like, all right, is this like a completely different vibe to this channel? And it is in different ways, but it's also, there is quite a considerable amount of overlap between them. Yeah, Harlan's story is interesting. what is true, what is real, what's a boast. Like, he's a superstar. I'm guessing that relates to when he was at the top of his software game. Now, I'm going to take him again at face value until I learn more. That what he says is true and accurate to his life, and not some fictitious story that never really happened. Maybe he got his nose in the door somewhere at some point and it really never went anywhere, but he's now created this like narrative that he was like a superstar tech guy in whatever the field was. Yeah, all right, so that's another Harlan video. Gonna keep going with him actually. It's picking up. I'll do a mishmash, so if he does new video uploads, I'll try keep up with that, and then I'll kind of go backwards a little bit here and there, like I did Paul. So it won't be in any chronological order. It won't be like video to video with him most of the time. Okay, all right. I've seen he hasn't uploaded recently, so he's obviously, this is not working out with the heat. So he's taken a break, which is probably good for him. All right, guys, I'll see you later.